Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all.
All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store.
This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? Let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. You guys know I haven't reviewed that show this season. This is one show that I do not miss. I do not miss it. I miss Real Housewives. I don't miss Love and Marriage at all. The fact that Mel finally did quit that show, I mean, honestly, I've been telling you guys for the last 2 seasons, I felt like Mel needed to leave the show. I felt like Mel tolerated everybody there. I felt like Mel did not really like anybody. She liked Nail. She liked, if she had to choose one person that she liked from the original cast and everything, you know, she did that with Kimmy. But other than that, I was just like, Mel, why are you there? Because it's clear that you don't really see it for none of these people. But she stuck it out. And finally this year, with all of the shit that went on with Martell and this damn sex tape and, you know, all of the things that, I mean, it's just a toxic show. I don't need to go into it. That's just what it is. It is what it is. It's a toxic show, and she didn't need it anymore. She had got her businesses off the ground, and, you know, they were doing well, and she already was doing her own real estate and all that. It was just sort of like, girl, why are you still on this show, girl? It is draining you. It's draining us, okay? So finally, this season, she has put out this statement that she's moving on to bigger and better things. Good for her. Watching the clips from the Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion, I was amazed. I was amazed at the conversation between Mel and Kimmy. Now, the last time that I was watching the show, you know, Mel and Kimmy still, their friendship was still intact. Kimmy was going through breast cancer and all that, and Mel was trying to be there for her, and, you know, so they were good. But Mel has always kind of had a little bit of a side eye for Maurice, but she's tolerated Maurice because of Kimmy. Well, what a difference a day fucking makes, or a season, I should say, because I was shocked at the way that Kimmy was talking to Mel at that reunion. I was like, oh, okay, so it's clearly that you guys' friendship is broken down more than the last time that I watched, because Kimmy was upset. Now, Kimmy and Maurice, they were one of my favorite couples on the show. I don't know what's happened in this last season, but watching that reunion and them talking about Maurice getting we all remember this, because this was the time that Funky Geneva had went down to Miami, went back home, and he had a whole big thing out there. And I'm sorry, not Miami, to Huntsville. He had a big, let me back up. He didn't go home. He went to Huntsville. He went out there for a party, and he was out there for the whole weekend, and it was a whole bunch going on. And we had known back then that Maurice had got pulled over for a DUI and arrested. He was in jail, and he got released and all of this. Well, from what I understand on the reunion, Maurice, I don't know what time the man got arrested, but there's some time from 4 p.m. to 12 in the morning, midnight, that he's unaccounted for. Okay? They were all at the thing that Funky Geneva had, and then apparently they all left, but he didn't go home. I don't know. But when I was sitting there watching it, I was just like, oh, that sounds like Maurice was doing something he had no business doing. Sound like he was cheating. Sound like he was cheating, okay? And it sounds like maybe him and Kimmy had decided that they were going to work through this, because, you know, like a lot of married couples do, which is fine. But it also looks like when you're on a reality show, you know, it's hard to deflect. It's hard to get that off of you, you know? So they're trying not to just tell their business flat out like that. I could tell. Something that they probably are dealing with privately, or dealt with privately and everything. But the fact that he's up there and he's elusive, he's talking about, you know, where were you from 4 to midnight? Oh, I was driving home. Huntsville is, how big is the fucking city? It don't take 7 hours to get home, you know? And then Kimmy kind of, well, y'all don't know if I went home or not either. Well, where you went, Kimmy? To the grocery store, girl? I mean, like, what you did, okay? unless you're gonna tell us that you was laid up with some nigga somewhere, you know, it's just like, okay, you made a few stops and you went home, but where was your husband is the difference here. And so she wasn't really talking. She was just kind of just sitting there and letting Maurice kind of say whatever he was saying, but they wasn't really trying to expound or extend on a conversation about anything. And I was just like, that sounds like he cheated. Sounds like he got caught up, and he said it sounds like he cheated. And then the reason why I said that it sounded like her and Mel's relationship is not the same, because she was just like, you know, and it was time when I was like, whatever, bitch, you know, don't nobody want Martell, and don't nobody want to rub on. And I was just like, oh, is that how Kimmy has talked to Mel? Like, what has happened in this one season? Even though that fucking season felt like it was 3 years long, but you know. So yeah, I think it's good that Mel left that show, because Martell is crazy. Martell is a classic narcissist. He is. What is wrong with Martell? I don't know how people can still watch that show. It frustrates me so much, even when I just watch the clips, that I was just like, ain't no way I could still be watching this show. I don't know how people do it. I mean, I guess if I was to review that show, I would do just like Bondi and put that shit on Patreon, because I am not fixing to be, you know, first of all, we know Love and Marriage Huntsville's fans, they is a different breed. You know, if you want to see me talk about them, then you gonna pay the fuck to see me for this shit, the way you guys be carrying on, child. I wasn't mad when she did that shit. But yeah, it do sound like Maurice was somewhere that his ass was not supposed to be. You ain't got to tell us. You ain't got to blast our relationship or nothing like this. But I want everybody to realize on that show that show probably brings out the worst of a lot of them. Okay? And it might be time to just let it go. I don't think that there's any good. What are the good parts of Love and Marriage Huntsville still? You can't even say, oh, they do businesses, they help in the community. You can't say that kind of shit no more, because they don't even do that no more, you know? So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought about that reunion. What you think about Kimmy and Maurice? Do you think that there's definitely something going on there? And I feel like Maurice did cheat. And Maurice got caught. Okay? And that is something that they're dealing with on their own. I hate that for them. But yeah, you getting caught up doing too much. Fucking much. Too grown for this shit. Go sit down somewhere. Anyway, y'all, we gonna move on to the next. I got a lot of shit still to talk about. Next story. All right, you guys. So Clarissa Shields had her big heavyweight fight in, was it in Detroit? No, it wasn't in Detroit. It was in Flint at the Dort Financial Center. Okay. In Flint, Michigan. She fought, what was the girl's name? I thought I got her. Danielle. Oh, I didn't put the lady's last name. Danielle somebody. She fought her, and she beat her up. Won 10 rounds, or won enough. I don't know if she won all 10 rounds, but she won enough, and she is now the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Okay. We've been seeing a lot about Clarissa Shields. I know she has a movie out. Has anybody seen the movie? The reason why we knew the most about her, of course, was because her and Remy Ma was going back and forth back in December, when Remy found out that her and Papoose was, Pap had fallen asleep. He was in the house and fallen asleep at the phone, and the girl was on the phone. All that drama, right? Now we see that Clarissa and Papoose are truly together, because at first they weren't really saying whether or not they were a couple or not. I had heard that she was seeing somebody else and all that, and they was keeping it pretty hush-hush. It was kind of hard to see, but we were seeing that Papoose and Remy was going back and forth, and then Remy's side nigga was coming out. It was a whole bunch of confusion with that. Okay, so that's how we know who Clarissa Shields is. I'm not sure how I feel about Clarissa Shields. I saw her in an interview talking about Layla Ali. And apparently her and Layla have been going back and forth over the years and saying, you know how fighters are quite braggadocious, and they like to say that they the best at this, and they gonna do this and they gonna do that. But it was surprising to see that Layla and Clarissa were going back and forth. It's like two totally different generations. Layla is my age. She ain't fighting no fucking more. Like, why are these two even in the same conversations? Really, honestly, Clarissa should be... I think Clarissa feels like, why should I look up to Layla? She's not even a champion of anything. Layla didn't have any fights that gave her a title. Okay? So maybe Clarissa mentioned those kind of things. Maybe Layla felt a way about it. I don't really know. But these two were at odds, and then she was talking about Layla and saying how I guess she could beat her. And then I saw an interview where Layla was saying like, I don't even know why she's even talking about me, and she's this and that. I don't really know what's going on there, but I come from the same school that Layla comes from, so of course I have a liking to Layla. So when I see Clarissa, even though I don't know the ins and outs of the beef, but there's some beef there that made me kind of look at her like, girl, are you one of these ones that's just gonna be arguing with everybody just because? Because why are we arguing with Layla? So anyway, there's that. But I'm still happy to see that the woman won her fight and that she's the undisputed champion and all of that. What bothered me more about that whole fight night was the fact that Papoose was right there holding her hand. It's like, I was just like, oh no, Pap, this is not the move that I wanted to see you make. I was more, we know that Pap likes to support the woman that he's in love with. And I mean, that was something that has been an endearing quality that we like about Pap. However, first of all, there's all this controversy behind this relationship. Okay. We don't even know if Pap is even divorced yet, which that don't even matter these days. Because once people move on, usually they can still be married and have a whole nother relationship. That's what folks do these days. But the fact that he's up there, he's holding her hand. This is her night. She's about to fight. Why are you holding her hand and walking out? Now, she might have told him she wanted him to do it, but I wish that he would have been like, no, babe, this is your night. Let me let you do this. He could have still performed the rap. He could have still did the pump up music, the hype her up when she's walking out and all that. But why are you walking next to her? It felt so opportunistic. It felt like he was trying to have this look like, look, here I am again. I got me another woman that I'm supporting, because you guys know that's what I do. I love me a woman. I love to support. And then it's just sort of like, what? Pap. Seeing him doing that and walking out with her, I just was like, this is rubbed me the wrong way. Maybe he didn't mean it that way. Maybe he didn't want to do it, but she begged him to do it because she was clearly happy that he was there. She was smiling and, getting into the groove of it and all. But I was just like, Pap, don't make me feel... Am I going to have to kind of start to go back and see what old Rim was talking about? Because Rim is my girl too, but I had kind of wrote Rim off because I was like, Rim, you was tripping. Okay, you and Easy the Block Captain or whatever the fuck his name is, But yeah, that coming out with her at the thing, I didn't like that shit. I was just sort of like, girl, you better watch him. I feel like he's trying to do something. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I didn't like it. That's the main bottom line, y'all. Y'all let me know what you think about it. But congratulations to Clarissa. She is the heavyweight champion. She does have a problem, I think, with one of her shoulder cuffs, or the rotator cuff or something in there. She said she's gonna have to have surgery for it, but she was able to, hold out on that surgery, get through this fight, win the fight, and become the champion. So congratulations to her. But yeah, I'm Pap. That was gonna be no. Next story, you guys. Matt Barnes, it seems that he has been caught by his girlfriend / fiance. I believe they're engaged again. Anansa Sims, you guys know that is the supermodel Beverly. That is her daughter. She has 2 children with Matt Barnes, and it has ended in a bad way. This is not the first time that it's ended in a bad way. It's actually the second time, because you guys know. So they got together back in 2018. And after they got together, she got pregnant. She ended up having her first baby. After they had that baby, though, the shit it didn't go well, and they ended up breaking up. She ended up getting a damn restraining order on Matt because she was like, niggas be tripping and it'd be a whole lot going on and stuff. We talked about the blending of those families, Matt and, him going back and forth with Gloria and her kids and her husband and him and her, and they all trying to agree on shit. There was a lot of problems. So they broke up. She got a restraining order, and there was that. But as the years went on, softened up, they started to get along again, and I guess she finally realized, okay, this is the man that she wanted to be with, so they got back together. And they got together back in 22, and then in 2023, they ended up having another baby. Okay, so now they have 2 babies, and they were back together and in love and happy again, and now here we are in January of 2025, and well, it's February now, but in January 2025, she found out that Matt had cheated with 8 women just in January alone. Motherfucker been busy. She posted on her social media that he, really met, 8 women just in January, and she posted all of the people's names. Most of the names we did not know, but there was one name on there in particular that we did know, which was Masika Kalisha. And she had the date and the time and the trip and all of that on there too. Okay, so she was very developed. She was very researched on what she was, the R&D was there. But she put it down there. Kalisha, of course, Masika, of course, has denied it, but I 100% can believe it for sure. I would not put that past Masika at all. Okay. But, yeah, and there were other women as well, and she's just so hurt that, and I was just like, girl, what made you get back with Matt to begin with? I mean, the motherfucker looked like he a mean ass, okay? He looked like one of the mean ass, light-skinned men. That's just all I can say. He just mean looking. So, here we are now in 2025. I told you guys that they got together in 2018. If you add those numbers up and subtract and all that, how many years were they together, you guys? 7. Y'all already know what I feel about 7 years. I mean, you got to talk about it no more. That should have let you know right there it was fixing to go left. I'm just thinking to myself, like, girl, what made you get back with Matt of all people? Basketball player, as much as we love our basketball players, I mean, they might be great basketball players, they may even be great men, but as husbands, maybe it's just not for them right now, unless you are going to accept all of these other women that be around in the background too. I'm always believe that, like, there's things that you got to know happen, okay, when you deal with a certain kind of person. So not super surprising, but yeah, y'all, sis is upset. She's heartbroken. Her and Matt are no longer together. She's got these 2 babies and all. Matt done went on about his business, and I guess she gonna go on about hers as well. Hold your head up though, girl. We knew that nigga was crazy back in the day. And then lastly, in quickies, you guys, just a couple of things. Remember, this is a update. Remember I was talking about DJ Akademiks and how he was about to crash out and all that? Well, it turns out that Twitch, the streaming service that his show was on, has permanently banned him from the streaming service. He's lost a lot of sponsorships. I knew that this was coming. I knew it was coming. He was just too out of control. Again, I don't like to see people lose their jobs and all and lose their income, but you got to know that there are things that you cannot do. Like, when you start to believe the hype and believe you can say and do whatever and that nothing is going to happen to you, then shit like this happens. Okay? So, yes, that's a learning experience. That's what we'll call that. I don't know what DJ Akademiks is going to be doing. I'm sure we'll see him again, child. I'm sure he'll resurface, but for now, he's trying to get his shit together over there because Twitch said, get the fuck on. And then lastly, Marcus Jordan. I just saw this before I came out here to do this video. They say that Marcus Jordan was arrested Monday night in Orange County. They say he was driving drunk, and he was charged with resisting an officer without violence, DUI, property damage or personal injury, and possession of cocaine. Cocaine is not surprising. We've seen that man partying out in the open in the middle of the day. Okay, just doing coke at the table while his homies sat there and ate and drank. They was like at a restaurant and something. He just doing coke, and honey, they was just recording him, and he didn't seem to be wanting to hide. So yeah, this DUI is not surprising. Marcus Jordan is another one that maybe we need to kind of tighten up the purse strings. Not the purse strings. We need to tighten up the grip. Let's get a hold of him because he's been out there, he's been wilding. He's doing too much. Doing too much. Doing too much. Okay. Maybe Michael will have to sit down, or Juanita. Michael or Juanita have to sit down and have a conversation with him because, yeah, too much. You're doing too much. Got too much to lose. All right. And that's it. All right, you guys, that's it. Still got another half to do about politics. So we'll get to that next, okay? Make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you come back. Anyway, you guys, we do this every single week, so make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars, bye.